Talkin with Tasha, Talkin with Tasha. It's Talkin with Tasha, the first episode in 2025. Episode 54 in 2025. That was beautiful. You're welcome. Welcome back to 2025 and welcome to a new episode of Talkin with Tasha. Took a little break for the holidays. Better late than never. Was supposed to have an episode out yesterday, but who's counting? It's fine. Real quick, I want to explain in this new year, here's what's happening on today's show. My friend Trey from college, we really like the show Lost. It came back to Netflix recently. It's in the top 10 shows a lot. It's kind of having this new resurgence. We had an idea to do a Lost recap podcast, but I don't have time to do 3 podcasts. So we're going to throw in some Lost recap episodes during Talkin with Tasha. They will be called Lostcast. I hope you enjoy it. If you're not a Lost person, I will still be having regular sort of programming Talkin with Tasha sprinkled in as well. I have some guests coming up that I think people will like. We'll do a little of this, a little of that, and it'll be great here in 2025. We're going to make the most of it, the best of it. You know what I'm saying? Also, I feel like I need to say, obviously, thinking very much about the people in California and the fires, and it's just terrible, and I can't even imagine. So, obviously, sending positive vibes out there for, I mean, it's just, everything I see is so sad. It's like dogs don't know where to go, horses, people, obviously. It's just so rough. So, yeah. Anyway, let's just all keep all of our positive vibes going that way. If you're a praying kind, thoughts, prayers, vibes, whatever you got, throw some good vibes that way. I watched Juror number 2 on HBO the other day, and really good movie. Enjoyed it. Clint Eastwood directed it, and what's his name? Timothy Holt. Is that his name? He's in it. Nicholas Holt is his name. Nicholas Holt, not Timothy. My bad. And Toni Collette and some other, it's a great cast. And then on New Year's Eve, like a day later, I got a jury summons. So, okay, just beware. If you watch Juror number 2, you might get a jury summons. So I have jury duty coming up in March. Yay me. And a lot of people, because I do like true crime, they're like, isn't this like your dream? I've been on a jury before in college. It was very stressful. It is a person's life. I have too much anxiety you'd think I would enjoy it, but I don't. I do like to judge people, but it's still, it's a person's life. It's tricky. And I'm just going to wear a My Favorite Murder t-shirt if I do get summoned. I'm just going to wear that and hopefully they dismiss me, because I also think back in college, I did not watch SVU like I do now. I've literally seen every episode of SVU. Have started listening to My Favorite Murder. I pretty much feel like I could solve a crime. Give me some luminol. I'll tell you what's up. So I feel like they're going to be like, you need to get out of here. You're not Olivia Benson. Please leave. Is probably what they're going to say to me. So we'll find out what happens. Golden Globes were cool. And I really liked Nikki Glaser. Wicked didn't dominate like I thought it would. But, like Demi Moore winning for The Substance, it's really hard for me because Cynthia Erivo is amazing. Don't get me wrong. Love her. But I also did see The Substance. And even though the ending made me go, what in the actual crap am I watching? I do think Demi Moore had a great performance in it. And it's sort of cliche, but she got naked in that movie. And a lot of times nudity gets you an award. So there's that. I think that's it. I hope everybody had a happy new year, had, a lot of family time over the holidays, or not family time if that's not your thing. I hope you celebrated however you wanted to celebrate. And I hope it was great. Once again, sending positive everything to California. I just want it to rain there. Can we just make it rain there? Can it just, that's what I'm trying to manifest, is just a nice rain. I feel like I've rambled long enough. So without further ado, here is Talkin with Tasha and Trey, Lostcast. We're telling you all about the first episode of Lost. We're taking you back to 2004. It is episode 1, pilot 1. Here we go. I hope you enjoy it. We're recording here, and then I also I'm recording in another program because I'm scared now. So,
Yeah. I'm sure it's just a fluke, though.
yeah, but it was still just, I was like, what the? I'm going through listening to our intro and everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, there's just these huge gaps of silence.
Oh,
And you're just
no.
basically talking to yourself. And I was like, what the?
I mean, there was a moment where you went away. Did you listen to the
Yeah.
whole thing? Okay.
Yes. Like
Because
I
there was a moment
scrolled
where
through.
okay. Because there was a moment where you went away, and I'm like, I guess it's just the Trey show. Bop it up and up.
Yeah.
And I said
And
real
then from
words.
that point on, it literally was.
Oh my gosh. So, what were you saying about 2025 being off to
Okay.
a
So
start?
2025, it's what we're 8 days in. I woke up with a cold on New Year's Day.
Oh.
We were supposed to do Christmas at my dad's on the 4th, but my stepmom had COVID, so we're doing it this weekend. Like, still haven't had a Christmas. I mean, I had other Christmas, but you know what I mean. There's
Christmas doesn't exist unless it's at your dad's.
And
Nobody
then,
has had Christmas yet.
yeah, and then just at work today, there was just stuff, and no matter where you work, there's always stuff.
Absolutely.
So yeah, there's that stuff. And then,
I
of
got
course,
to hang out with my boss and a plumber today. It was awful.
and then there was, just this whole debacle last night where I apparently don't know how to use a computer. So that was fun.
No, excuse me, you do. You're just using a new program and it went stupid.
And this program is supposed to make my life easier because it's supposed to automatically take out some of the ums and likes and stuff. But instead, it just didn't record anything. So that's cool.
Are you on the Wi-Fi that you like now?
No, but I can't use my hotspot because my phone was like, you're out of hotspot time. So
already? Wait, when is your month over, I guess?
I don't know. I'm still on my
No.
plan with my dad. I don't know. I don't get the bill.
Oh, I haven't been
I
on
know.
a plan with my No, I wish I was on a plan with my dad, like a legacy plan, but when I was living in Sioux City, I still had US Cellular, and
Oh.
US Cellular in 2009 was shit in Sioux City. I'm like,
Yes.
I need Verizon. He's, well, I'm not paying for it, so
Yeah.
go get your. So I've had my own cell phone plan for 1,000 years.
Yeah. Well,
It's so expensive.
my number on our family plan is technically the main number because I had a cell phone before anyone in my family, but it was under my dad's name because I didn't have any credit and they wanted to charge me like $1,000 bajillion to get
Right.
a plan or whatever. So, and I paid for it all with my own money, my graduation money. I did not have a cell phone until I was 18 and graduated high school, and I used some of that to get a phone. But I was like, Dad, will you please help me get a,
Yeah.
So, and then a couple years later, because my dad was, he was like, this is never going to catch on. Like, he did not think so.
Sir, there were 13. I remember my dad got the three of us one Nokia brick to share when I was in high school. So my little brother was like in middle school, as my sister too, and we would share it between the three of us. But like, you gave teenagers the ability to talk to people almost whenever, and text messages were a quarter.
Not after like 9 o'clock or whatever, if you waited.
I know, but sometimes you couldn't, and then your dad would call you and be like, what do you mean there's $50 worth of texting charges? Who are you talking to? Not a boyfriend. I'm not gay.
Well, okay, so I got a cell phone first, and then still my parents didn't have one, but when my brother got a job, when he turned 16, he was like, I want a cell phone, I'll pay for it myself. So it was me and him on the plan, and we get the bill one time, and it was huge, and I was like, Taylor, what are you doing? Do you remember those dumb, not like 900, it wasn't like sexy time stuff. It was like, do you remember those weird things where it was a 4-digit number and you'd call it and it would be like a game or something? Or like, I can't even explain it. It was like that.
Yeah, in the dumb recesses of my mind, but I was too poor to think about wanting to do that.
So and then I'm telling Dad, because I was like, I'm not paying for this. I don't have the money to pay for this. And Taylor, even though he was working, like didn't have that money either because it was like $1 bajillion. And
right.
I was like, I'm telling Dad, and Taylor was like, no, don't tell Dad, don't tell Dad. He's like, they'll take away my phone. And so I didn't, because I'm
He'll
an
take away my
idiot.
phone that I pay for. Okay.
But, because he wasn't using it
Yeah,
responsibly or whatever. But,
sure.
so somehow we ended up covering it, or I covered for my brother. I don't think he ever fully paid me back for that, but, little brothers, that's what they
Brothers
do.
are worthless. My brother's great, mostly. I love you, Jake. You're never going to listen to this. You don't know what a podcast
I
is.
know my brother, he gives me crap sometimes about like, how come you don't have me on the podcast more? Because I did have him on once or twice to talk about Below Deck because we love Below Deck, and I was like, do you even listen? Like, and he's like, no, I don't.
My
But
brother is like the most retro millennial that you will ever find. He barely has a smartphone. He doesn't use social media, which good for him.
yeah, sometimes
I
I
wanna
wish I didn't, but
I know,
I'm
and with
addicted now. I'm in it.
yeah, super addicted, but with Mark Zuckerberg making all those changes for Meta, I'm like, I might have to say goodbye.
I don't know. I was reading, because part of my job is social media stuff, like for real. I was reading some stuff on LinkedIn today about how they think that will impact things, and I don't know. I feel like Facebook and Instagram are, since it was, well, Facebook especially, since it was kind of the first big one, I just don't think I don't think people are willing to leave it as easy as they were Twitter.
And so I utilize Facebook because
Hmm.
I remember when
We
Morningside
were
got
in
Facebook.
college when Facebook happened.
Gosh,
You
we
had
I
to
was
have
on
an
choir retreat,
EDU. You had to have an
right?
EDU email address.
I came back from choir retreat and the whole campus was a buzz about getting Facebook.
Well,
But
and my favorite trivia question when I'm at bar trivia is, it's been asked a couple of times, is when Facebook was launched or first started. And it's February 4th, 2004, because that's my birthday,
yeah, I was
the
just
year
gonna
I
say,
graduated high school. So I was like, me and Facebook, we have the same birthday.
look at you.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to.
Yeah,
Uh,
my brother will FaceTime me through Facebook Messenger because he lives out in the boonies in
yeah.
southern Iowa. And yeah, that's how I get to see my nephews
Yeah.
and my brother and my sister-in-law. So I'm like, I can't get rid of Facebook,
Yeah.
but also I need to stop using it. I deleted it from my phone.
Oh, you did? Good for you.
Yeah, I know. I'm a good person.
I do. I did monetize my Facebook page because, I have my personal one and then the more public one. And I do get
Yeah.
some money here and there from it. So,
Okay. Well, good for you.
I made a whole like $800 this last year. Woo!
I mean, that's one Taylor cell phone bill. So
Exactly. Okay. But anyway, so full disclosure, we are re-recording this because 2025 is off to a rough start. And we're going to recap Lost every now and then on Talkin With Tasha. So like it or don't, I don't care. That's how I feel about this.
please like it.
And I'm so glad that Trey is nice, because I was like, oh my God, I know we just did that. We have to redo it. We have to pretend like we didn't do it. But I mean, we're not pretending. I'll just be honest that this is the second time, people.
I mean, look, it's fine. Hi, Tasha's. Have you come up with a name for your fan base?
No.
Tasha's Tots, Tasha's Taters.
No, I haven't. But like, yeah, there's Swifties and does Katy Perry still have fans? They're Katy Cats. I don't know.
I'm gonna
Lambs
be
are
silent
Mariah
and just make a
Carey.
face.
Lady Gaga's got the Monsters. I don't know. Maybe
We're just gonna call them Tots for now,
we need some
or
input.
Taters, not Tots. We can't call them Tots. Nope, Taters. Tasha's Taters. But if it would be funnier if we were from Idaho, but we're not. But that might be
But
why it's
people,
funny.
right, because when I say I'm from
Yeah.
Iowa, people a lot of times think it's Idaho. So,
Yeah, I have a friend from Idaho now, although he claims Washington, but that's not how life works.
Well,
And
and
I'm just like, oh, for poor us.
I know. And even though I've lived in South Dakota now since '09, how many years is that? Like 15 or something?
Yeah,
Math
yeah.
is hard. I still a lot of times will say I'm originally from Iowa, but I've lived in South Dakota since whenever. Like, I don't know. I just
Oh,
can't claim South Dakota. Like, I still have to claim Iowa. I don't
Well,
know.
I
I
mean,
just do.
I will fully claim New York City unless a New York City lifelong resident. No, you're not. Okay, I grew up in Iowa. I've lived here for going on 15 years,
Hmm.
but I'm a New Yorker. Please.
I'll let you claim it, I guess, now. I will say when you first moved there and
Thank
every
you.
once in a while you'd be like, tourist. I'm like, you've been there 6 months. Calm down. Like,
This is true, but also, tourists.
you were a pretty decent host when we visited, though. Like, you still did a
I
few of
was
the touristy things with us, and
Oh, I
yeah,
look, I love doing touristy things with my friends that have never been to New York City, so I will gladly go do it. Like our nieces were here over Labor Day, and we took them to the Statue of Liberty.
yeah, yeah.
One of them got one that was most excited about the Statue of Liberty was nervous about getting on the boat because she didn't realize that a ferry was a boat. We
Oh,
don't know what she thought. We thought it might have been
like
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 wings.
Tinkerbell or something.
Yeah, yeah. She got there. She was very excited though. I love doing touristy stuff. If you want to go through Times Square, we are going to march through Times Square. I'm the tall one. I'm at the front. I will count my ducklings every now and again. And if you get lost, I'm not sorry.
But Times Square, like I've been to New York City now twice, so basically I'm an expert. I think it's Times Square, sure. I mean, I get you want to see it because it's one of
Sure.
the things, but like it's not my favorite thing there, probably. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
yeah.
Times Square is lovely in the early, early morning when there's nobody around, or 2 a.m. when there's just the hookers and drugs. There aren't any hookers on Times Square anymore, or if they are, you don't really notice them.
Yeah. And
Just the costume characters, which
yeah,
are the worst.
yes. And it is literally the last time I was there with Rachel, which has been a while now, but that was the last time I was there. Do you remember us talking about how you can see us, right? Are we not invisible? Because everywhere we went, we'd be like waiting in a line or, waiting to get on a bus or something, and people would just walk in front of us, and we were like, "You
Yeah,
can see us, right?" Like,
yeah. There, my bus. I have to take a bus to the train or I could walk for 1.25 miles, which is not a bad walk. Today it would have been, but if I wait on that bus line and people get in front, I have now become one of those bus people that shout at you, just like, "What are you doing? Do you not see the line of 30 people right here? You've got to go to the back of the line." And I've had people go, I'm like, "No, I'm not your friend. Go to the back
yeah.
of the line." I'm like, sure. You know what's really fun? Being a tall white dude telling people of color to go to the back of the line.
Well, and our whole deal was like a few times it wasn't even a busy scenario. There was no reason to budge. Like there was literally maybe 4 to 10 people hanging around. Like
Yeah.
why? I don't understand, we were all going to get on. It wasn't like I
Because
don't know.
bus people suck as a bus person.
But anyway, so we're recapping Lost. I'm trying to remember what we kind of talked about last time. Trey and I met in college. I'm wearing a college shirt today.
I have a real microphone now.
Yeah. Trey's been on the show once before.
It was
Stayed
terrible.
we've stayed friends. I mean, obviously we're good
Despite
friends.
that show.
But we've also just stayed friends kind of through our love of pop culture things.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
when there's a new Project Runway, we're texting each other. When there's new So You Think You Can Dance, we text each other, even though this last season was terrible.
This last season was.
And then Lost obviously was a touching point for both of us. And I suppose one thing I do think is worth repeating from the first time we did this was I want you to tell the story about how you and your college roommate, this was like your only thing.
Yeah. So my freshman year roommate, so Lost came out in '04, my senior year of high school. Didn't watch it. I was too busy being in all of the plays and choirs in my high school. Go to college. I'm like, oh, I want to see this show. I buy it on iTunes because that's what you do on your morning side. They know where we went, right? We can say
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
or bleep it if you want to. Our our college gave us computers.
Well, they
And so I
didn't we
bought
paid for them, but they didn't give them to
Sure,
us.
absolutely, but it was part of our tuition, so it wasn't like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, my freshman year roommate and I, who will not say names and shame people, did not like each other. It was on a secret. It was on a secret on our hall. We played nice around the hall, but if we could not be near each other, we weren't. Except for Lost. I had watched like the first couple episodes. He's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Lost." Oh. And he did that thing that you do when somebody is watching, and so you just stand near them and watch it. And they're like, do you want to watch it? Okay, yeah, I'll watch it with you. So I restarted it. And that was like the only time 24, maybe 48, we might have watched the first two together, episodes of Lost. Haven't spoken to him since.
And then previously, Trey had asked me how I found Lost, which is also kind of a
Yeah.
funny story. How I found Lost, that's funny. But I
I like it.
graduated. I'm a year older than Trey, so I graduated high school '04. Then started, my fall semester was '04. So I knew Lost was a big deal. I remember seeing like the new hit show, but didn't really watch it because college, you're busy, whatever. And then one time when I must have been sophomore year of college because Rachel was my roommate. We were not roommates freshman year, so it must have been sophomore year. Was just flipping through the basic cable channels because that's what we had back then. And I honestly thought I had stumbled upon a movie. So I started watching this thing like, oh, what is this? And got sucked in. And then when the end credits went, I was like, oh, this is that show Lost everyone's talking about. So then that summer, I went and from Blockbuster rented the first season on DVD and also utilized Netflix. So I did a free Netflix subscription for that month. So while I was waiting for one disc in the mail, I'd go to Blockbuster and get the next one. And so I could really like binge it fast. So then I got caught up and on schedule. So that's how I found Lost. It sucked me in sort of accidentally.
I
Kids
love it.
today
Yeah.
will never know.
Right. The pain of having to wait for Netflix to come in the mail.
Yes. And then even we didn't have DVR or any of that stuff back then. So
No.
I remember if Lost was on Wednesdays, right? The new episodes, I think.
I think so.
So when there was an
Wow.
episode of Lost, but there was, let's say I had a night class on Wednesdays or something, I would have Rachel tape it on a VHS and then so I could watch it later. And then sometimes we would do the same thing with the OC. And then I should have charged people to watch because that tape would get passed
Right.
around. I should have charged. I could have made so much money. But the OC and Lost, it was a time. You had
And
to
I
be there.
was usually in rehearsal, but that's why I bought them on iTunes because I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna do that. I don't think we had a VCR in our. We must have had a VCR.
We had the VCR DVD thing. So
Okay, I don't remember.
and of course
I spent so
Rachel
little time there.
grew up without a television and so I had to literally be like, okay, so the TV needs to be on 3 or whatever, and then you turn on the
Mhm.
VCR, and then you put the tape in, and then
Oh,
you know what I
bless her
mean?
heart.
I had to learn her some things, but I always
Yeah.
told her for those of you that don't know, my college roommate, and so we're still good friends. We still talk now and then, but just probably not quite as close as we used to be. Life happens. But she was raised Pentecostal without a TV. We were raised very differently because I was basically raised by a TV. And so, and I always told her, if I'm the worst influence you had at college, I think you're doing okay. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I don't know. You were just raising hell. Sorry, raising heck. You were. I mean, yeah, you were only raising heck. You were never that bad
yeah,
that you raise hell.
nope,
So
nope. Okay. But anyway, I think that's mostly kind of what we talked about the first time we did this. Should we just jump into the episode?
yeah, let's just jump in. I hope this was invigorating for everyone.
You get a little backstory of our lives. Can you say something real quick?
Yeah, let me just talk about while we're waiting. Am I not being recorded? You're looking at me very strange. So
Hi.
if you want to follow me on like socials and stuff,
Oh
find
yeah,
me
do
on
that.
TKRB3 on most everything: Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, barely. I also do embroidery, Bare Left Embroidery on Instagram, and I'm also sometimes a panelist on another podcast, The Great Pop Culture Debate. So catch me over there too sometimes. Got an episode coming out in February where we debate the best Disney Channel original movie. Ooh. I believe in you.
Although as long as this Descript thing, I used it at work today and it worked swimmingly. So
Great.
hopefully, as long as I don't somehow get detached or lose Wi-Fi, we should be fine.
Stunning. The Lostcast.
And so how this is going to work, we'll kind of take turns. The first episode, I'll take us through. Trey will have commentary. We'll end with what questions we have. And then for episode 2, Trey will kind of lead. And then I'll add my 2 cents, of course. I mean, because I can't not. So And Trey's going to pretend he hasn't heard any of this before.
I've only ever watched the episode.
Okay. So I'm going to use all the characters' names because as someone that has seen the show, it's hard not to. So if you haven't seen it, sorry, but you'll learn their names and you'll figure it out. Okay. So we open on Jack, aka Matthew Fox in real life. And it's the very infamous scene. Anytime there's a TV history montage, best shows of TV, this is the scene we see a lot where Jack's waking up like in the jungle. It pans out from his eyeball. It's a whole thing. Very synonymous with the show these days. So we open on the very now infamous eyeball scene. It's Jack. He's in a suit. He's in the jungle. Insert, what's that band? Welcome to the Jungle. Guns N' Roses. There.
Uh-huh.
And then we see the goodest little puppy muffin yellow lab in the jungle.
He's
and
just such a little trooper.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember that watching this for the first time, we know that a plane crashed, but watching it for the first time, it was very like, what is happening? Like, why is there a dog in the jungle? What is
why
happening?
is this man in a suit in the jungle?
Right.
Why is he like breathing hard? Why are we looking at his eyeball?
Yeah, we have all those questions and more. So there's a dog, and we're like, cool, cute dog. And then we see Jack kind of reach for some tiny bottles of alcohol in his pocket or whatever. And then you get the first clue of like mini bar or plane, because those are the two main places you get those tiny bottles of alcohol. And then we see like a shoe hanging from a tree, and we're still like, what is going on? And then Jack finally gets up and he stumbles along, and we're on the beach. And as someone that has seen the show before, I was expecting like immediate carnage, but we don't get it right away. We just see a very nice beach at first, and then the camera slowly pans over, and there it is, carnage.
And you get a little bit of sound towards it. Like you hear like the jet engines roaring. You hear Shannon screaming, and then you pan to a jet engine whirring and Shannon screaming.
Yeah. Because yes, and we should say Jack eyeballs open, but it's also sort of that we're in his brain a little bit where sounds are muffled. We don't know what's going on. So
he's
now
disoriented, so are we. It's wonderful.
Yes. So, and then we see people screaming, the plane wreckage, loud noises, fires. We get our first glimpse of Charlie, who we'll meet later, and then we see Jen, who we will meet later, and then we already hate Shannon because she's just standing in the middle of everything screaming, but also that would be me, so I try not to judge her too much, but everybody else is sort of trying to help or do something or, running around, and she's just standing there screaming.
I mean, it's also just such a natural reaction to I'm gonna curse, a fucking plane crash. You just survived a jetliner crash, and you survived. Yes, scream, because there's so much happening.
Yeah, so she's screaming, she's just standing there, and then we see Michael and Walt, who we will meet later, father, son. We see the engine is still whirring. Jack tries to help this guy get uncovered. There's like a huge piece of wreckage on him. So he enlists the help of two guys that we don't really ever see again. And then a third guy who is John Locke, who we will learn his name later. He ends up being, a pretty integral part. And then they get the wreckage off the guy. Jack makes a quick tourniquet for the guy's leg with his tie. And then he hears another scream for help that catches his attention. He runs to pregnant Claire. We don't know her name yet, but we do know her name. So he runs to pregnant Claire. She's 8 months pregnant. Why are you flying? Doesn't seem safe, but we're not judging.
I don't get it.
He's, asking her how are her contractions, blah, 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 kind of helps her. And then we see a guy with very thick eyebrows.
Yes, but doesn't like Claire say, I'm only 8 months pregnant?
Yeah.
Isn't that mostly baked? Isn't your little bun in the oven almost there? Yes, please. Another like
browning.
4 weeks.
I feel like it'd be browning a bit.
Another 4 weeks is fine. Get a good egg wash on it and you'll be great. But you should, 8 months should be mostly fine. Maybe not on a beach, but hey.
Yeah. But for the most part, she seems okay-ish. So Jack, his attention goes to a guy giving CPR, which is Boone giving Rose CPR. And then Locke tries to warn a guy about the engine and to stay away from it. And then, the engine explodes.
Honestly, it explodes. Why? Because he's sucked
He
into
sucked
it.
into it. Yes, it is a pretty graphic
Another
thing for network TV at like 8
But
p.m.
another iconic moment,
Yeah.
though. What do you remember from the pilot of Lost? Jack's eye, the guy gets sucked into a jet engine. I don't care about anything
Yeah,
else.
that lives in your brain rent free, that's for
Yeah.
sure. And just to let you all know, this is all within the first 5 minutes. A lot is
Yeah.
going on in 5 minutes. Then we see Hurley helping Claire. Again, we don't know any of their names actually yet, but we know their names. So Hurley's helping Claire, getting her away from the fumes. Jack is like, "Stay with her, get her away." He goes, "If her contractions get any closer, let me know." And he's like, "What is your name?" And he goes, "Jack." So now we know Jack's name. And then
Yes.
we're also wondering, why does he know how to do tourniquets and know things about birth? And like, so we know he must be doing some sort of
He's
medical
gotta have
thing
some
in his
sort of a
other
medical
life. Yes.
thing.
So we finally learn Jack's name. He goes over to Boone, who was apparently doing CPR wrong on Rose. But Boone's like, "I know what I'm doing. I'm a licensed lifeguard." But Jack takes over. And this was the thing too. I didn't realize how funny this episode kind of was in moments either. Like I
Right?
forgot how much levity there was. So
And not, like, funny, like, 20 years on, like, that's so silly and dated. Just no, like,
yeah,
legitimately, like,
so
some laughs in there.
so Boone wants to be helpful, even though I was doing CPR wrong, and Rose still isn't like breathing yet or whatever. So Boone's like, "Should we do one of those like pencil pen tracheotomy things?" And Jack's like, "Yeah, go find me a pen." So basically, just to get rid of Boone, he tells him to go find a
Right,
pen. So, and then Jack keeps doing CPR the proper way, and Rose is back, baby. And I didn't remember meeting her this early. She makes a
right.
bigger to do later with her and her husband Bernard, but I forgot we met her in the first episode, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But okay, so but wait. We have Rose back, but things can't be fine. The wing of the plane is going to fall right where Jack left Claire and Hurley. So extreme close up on Jack's face. He's like,
So many extreme close-ups.
intense
So
music.
many.
He takes off running, and all three of them get out of the way just in time, obviously. More explosions. They're running. It's like in action movies when they're running and things blow up behind them. Like that's basically what we have here. There's flames behind them, there's flying objects, and then this flaming flying object lands right in front of Charlie. Again, another kind of funny moment. And he just doesn't seem to know what planet he's even on. And he just like
Right.
has this really dumb face. We learn later like why he has this reaction. But it could also be the trauma of like what the
Yes,
is going on. Yes.
we make fun because it's network television. Oh, all the people are archetypes and they're silly, but also they're going through a trauma.
Yes. Yes.
Their plane just crashed. I don't know if we have explained that at all. The plane has crashed, and traditionally, if your plane crashes, you're probably going to die.
Right.
And so we've got all of these people that have not died or lost a limb.
Yeah.
All their hair is still perfect. Yeah, I'd be screaming or
Yeah.
like stunned too.
So he does just kind of have a funny moment of like, what? And then that kind of cuts to we finally get some credits and some like slow motion sort of walking. Things are kind of calming down. And Jack, he's looking for something kind of in the wreckage of the plane. And of course, and Boone comes up and he's like, "Hey, I found a pen. I got a bunch of different colors and sizes because I didn't know which would work best." And Jack's like,
Just
"Thanks."
but also isn't there like in the foreground just like some like dead person's arm
Probably,
hanging?
yeah.
Because he's looking in the fuselage and so
Yeah,
there are people
dead
still in
people in
their
there, yeah.
seats. Yeah.
So Boone goes along his way. He's like, "Thanks for the pens. Cool." And then Jack again is looking for stuff in the luggage. We come to find out that what he was looking for was a sewing kit. He goes to find a more separate private area of this beach. And again, we don't know exactly why or what's going on. He takes his suit jacket off. We see that he is injured himself, that he has not really let on at all. He's got a big old gash in his back, bloody, all kinds of stuff. He tries to kind of look at it or get started sewing it himself, but obviously he can't see it. And then all of a sudden Kate appears. Again, we don't actually know her name yet, but it's Kate. She's off finding a more private area of the beach as well, apparently. And she
Yeah.
just happens upon Jack. He asks her to help sew it up, and she goes, "Well, I made the drapes in my apartment." So that
It's
qualifies her to do stitches. And
it's so funny. Just can you sew? What? Can you use a needle and thread? I sewed the curtains in my kitchen and my whatever. And it's just, he's perfect.
Yes.
Come do surgery,
Right.
ma'am,
So
with your bangs.
in this moment, we find out that Jack is indeed a doctor, and he would do the dishes. He would do the dishes himself. He would do the stitches himself, but obviously can't reach it. And I put a little side note in here that it is definitely 2004 because Kate is in layered tanks and Claire is also in layered tank tops, because that, of course,
We
is
love
important.
layers. We were also cold in the mid-aughts.
So many layers. No wonder I had pit stains and everything, because I just was wearing like...
My double popped collar polos from American Eagle.
It was a time. I lost my train of thought with the layered tanks. I went to a whole other place. Oh, also layered tanks. Sawyer, not tank tops, but he's layering the t-shirt with the long sleeve t-shirt. So we got that.
Right.
And bad boy Sawyer, he's lighting up a cigarette. Being in a plane crash is stressful. I might start smoking after a plane crash. I don't know. I give him that.
Absolutely. I just survived. I might as well take my life in my own hands my way.
Right. So it's kind of getting closer to nighttime. Things are calming down as much as it can be the day of a plane crash. Saeed's building a fire. Again, we don't actually know his name yet, but Saeed's building a fire. Boone is trying to get his 2004 phone to work. Saeed gets Charlie to help with the fire. And then we cut back to Jack and Kate doing their stitches, doing the dishes. And Kate's scared doing it. She's talking about how she's nervous and whatever. And she's like, you don't seem scared at all. That's weird. And he gives this whole kind of story about how when he was in residency or interning or whatever, he messed up in a spinal nerve surgery. And apparently he cut open these nerves and it looked like angel hair pasta. And he thought he was going to paralyze this girl. And he only let himself feel the fear for 5 seconds. And then he sewed her back up and she was fine.
It's just the most disturbing medical story. And we watched ER.
Right. My other favorite show. Oh my gosh, love ER. But yeah, so we have angel hair pasta nerves, but apparently he let himself be nervous or scared for 5 seconds, and then he got back in there and the girl could walk again and everything was fine. And Kate's like, okay, I guess I won't run away now, because we do kind of learn that Kate in her life, when things get hard, she does run, except for the one time she doesn't, and then things happen. So she's stitching him up, and then we cut to people kind of hanging out around the fire, and Charlie has tape on his fingers that he has put in the word he has put the word fate, F-A-T-E, on each finger. And fate is a big part of Lost. This is kind of foreshadowing and whatever. And Shannon's painting her toenails because, you need a pedicure when you're stranded on an island. And Boone's trying to get her to eat some chocolate or just, whatever they have available. And she's like, won't break her diet, even though they just had this traumatic experience. Again, we shouldn't judge. It's a crazy time. But
her priorities, yes, let's not judge, but also maybe judge a little bit.
And I don't know if she said it much in this episode. I know in the second one she does, but she is fully believing like rescuers are coming. She's seeing it like she's not, she's being optimistic, I guess. So there's that.
Right.
Why do I keep losing my spot there? Okay. Hurley's handing out some food because, this was a flight from Australia. I don't know if we said that yet. So it's international long flight. There was actually food on this plane because most time you're lucky if you get a Stroop waffle or whatever these days. But so he finds some of the airport meals and he's like heating them up and handing out food. He checks on pregnant Claire. He asks like, any more baby stuff? And she's like, no, I think I'm okay. But she did literally like fall on her belly running from that thing. So it is a little scary. And he gives her 2 meals because she's eating for 2. But those of us that know they'll be for a while are like, or we know they'll be there for a while. So it's like, you might want to not eat all of that food right now.
Right. What is happening? I mean, at this point, we're all kind of with Shannon. We're going to be rescued soon.
Right.
This feels a little long because it's now dark out. But hey, we could be in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Find out that we kind of are. But still.
Right now, they don't know what they don't know. They're freaked out, but still optimistic. We see Michael and Walt by the fire. Sun and Jin, they are a Korean couple. Again, we don't really know anyone's name yet, but we know their names. So they're speaking Korean, but obviously there's subtitles. And I forgot how possessive and controlling Jin was in the beginning because we end up kind of liking them later. But
Loving them.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he's telling her, like, stay by my side. You must do what I say. Don't talk to the other people. We're going to survive this. Like, very much in it for themselves. Like,
Right.
we're sticking together. And then Jack makes an airplane out of a leaf, and they're reenacting kind of what
So
they can
funny.
remember happened. Jack doesn't seem to remember much because he says he blacked out, but Kate says she remembers. She says first the tail went and then the front broke off. But neither of those pieces of the plane are by them. Like, they have just the middle part that, that was exploding earlier.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, well, if we can find the cockpit, there should be a black box. There should be a transceiver. We can radio for help. We got to find this cockpit. And this is the first of many arguments about whose wiener is bigger because, or, and this is for all genders, all whatever you identify, they all are like, I'm going, no, you're not. I'm better than you. Like, this happens
It,
again and again and again and again. So,
it's just so indicative of the mid-aughts television.
yeah,
Everything was just a dick measuring
it
contest.
was.
And often it was like the joke that the woman won. And it's just, yeah, because y'all are smarter than us. We're
Right.
dumb
So
and
Kate,
annoying.
yeah, so Kate's like, I want to go on the hike. I want to find the cockpit. I can do it, whatever. Well, Jack at first is like, well, I'll go. And Kate's like, I'm going with you. And then he's like, no, you're not. You need to blah, 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 blah. But before they can fight too much more, there's weird noises in the darkness. Everyone turns and looks. It's like something out of Jurassic Park. Trees are almost getting knocked down. I forgot how much this sound was like a horn. I kind of forgot it was
Right.
like a mechanical horn, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I always in my head thought it was more organic than
Yeah.
it was. But
Yeah.
I also have watched Jurassic Park 1,000 times, so I just hear the Velociraptors. Steven Spielberg, call me.
And then Charlie again gets a moment where he just goes, terrific. And it cuts to, or that would be where a commercial was. And also before, when that flying piece of debris lands in front of him, I'm pretty sure that's where it would have cut to commercial back in the day as well. So he has a lot of like good one-liners to end an act or whatever. So we're back from commercial and we have our first of many flashbacks. We are back on the plane and the flight attendant is kind of flirting with Jack. And she's like, how was your drink, sir? And he goes, well, it wasn't very strong. So she gives him some more booze. And then we wonder, does he need more booze? So,
He's just charming. That's all it is.
yeah, maybe. So she
He's
doesn't.
got a party of 5 to feed. Sorry.
So she gives him a couple more bottles of vodka or whatever it is, which does come in handy later for the disinfecting of medical things. But in the moment, he just wanted some more whatever. And she didn't charge him the like $800 per bottle that they charge on flights for those things. And then in this flashback, this little exchange of booze happens. Charlie runs by to use the bathroom and is kind of like hits Rose a little bit, or causes a little bit of a kerfluffle. And Rose and Jack make eye contact across the aisle. Rose's husband Bernard, who we haven't seen yet, but she is now talking about him. He is in the bathroom and some turbulence hits and she looks nervous. And Jack just is like, oh, this is normal. It's okay. I'll keep you company while your husband's in the bathroom. But then there's like extreme turbulence. Like, if you don't have your seatbelt on, you are in the air. Things are, luggage is flying and it's oxygen things come down.
Ugh.
And you can't pretend this is normal anymore, Jack. Sorry, this is a little crazy.
That's so scary. I've never been on a plane with that bad
either.
of turbulence.
Knock on wood.
I've had some bad turbulence and I've tossed my cookies on a plane, but I've never had like the mask have to come down. Like that's scary. I don't hate flying, but that part,
yes,
put me on a train for the rest of my life.
And then we get like shaky camera work, like Blair Witch kind of, we're on the plane, so it's shaky. But before we get too motion sick, we're back on the beach and it must be morning now because the sun is out and the monster did not come get anybody. So that's good. They're all kind of arguing or still talking about what that noise could be and who's going to go look for the cockpit. And is it Jack? Is it Kate? Is it whatever? So Jack's like, okay, Kate, you can come, but you're going to need better shoes. Cause I think she just had flip-flops on or something. I don't know. But
right.
She goes to take some boots off of a dead guy, which it is a kind of a rough scene. It's sombering, but like if I was dead, use my shoes. It's fine. But you do kind of get hit with that. Oh yeah, people are dead. she looks up when she's untying the boots and she sees John Locke on the beach staring at her. And for a moment, you think, like, is he judging her? Or, like, they have this just kind of weird vibe for a second. And then, in the weirdest thing, he goes to smile at her, and you think he's just kind of comforting, like, it's okay. But he has an orange slice in his mouth like he's in third grade. And, when you used to do that, you'd take a bite of the orange and smile or whatever. So he does that, and he has this really creepy grin as Kate's taking the boots off of this dead guy. And she just kind of looks at him like, what a weirdo. And she takes the boots and, like, runs away.
It is weird because he's an old man that we haven't seen anything from. Not a peep at all. But also, that would be me on the beach. I'd be screaming at first. But then I'd be like, you know what I'm going to do? Something stupid to make you giggle. Because this is say it with me, class, trauma.
And I am notorious for laughing during the national anthem and things like that just because you're not supposed to. But, just moments where you're not supposed to laugh make me want to do it even more. So I kind of get where it just came off weird. And I think, through the whole show, we kind of know Locke is weird, but it's fine. And then,
yes, it's a strange one.
As they're all kind of still around the fire, getting ready for the day, Hurley wonders if they should do something with the bodies. And then Shannon again is like, well, why should we do anything? We're going to get rescued. Let the rescue people worry about it. Someone else will deal with it. Again, it's only been a day. When do you start worrying about the bodies? I don't know. Charlie decides to come with to look for the cockpit. And at first you're like, that seems weird. He hasn't really done much, but okay. So he comes along with Jack and Kate. We find out later why.
Look,
but
Charlie, Dominic Monaghan he's ready for a journey. He just got off of the Lord of the Rings series. He needs to go for another walkie.
Yep. He loves a good walk. Okay, so, and then Jack leaves Boone in charge of the wounded because he's a licensed lifeguard. So, and Boone just needs to feel important. So, Kate, as they're walking to find the cockpit, she thinks Charlie looks familiar. And she's like, gosh, you look familiar. Like, why is that? And so Charlie starts singing, you all, everybody. And he's like, do you know this song? And he's like, you know that song by Drive Shaft? And she's like, yeah, I guess. And he's like, that's me. I'm in that band. I'm the bass player. And she's like, no, you're not. She's like, huh, really? And he's like, yeah. And then Kate goes, oh, yeah, they were good. She says they were good. And Charlie goes, we are good. What are you talking about? We're in the middle of a comeback. I just love that because,
And then I think it's commercial right there, too, with a little Charlie liner.
And then again, we see the dog in the jungle. We find out later that is Vincent's dog, but we're still just kind of like,
the dog
is the dog. It's Walt's dog. Yeah. But we're still like, what does this dog do with anything? And we cut to Locke looking out into the ocean, all pensive. And then all of a sudden it's raining. And we're back to the hikers. It's raining. It's raining on the beach. The Koreans are once again not really being team players. They're just sticking together. Even when people try to get under the little like scaffolding or the part of the wing that they're under to stay dry, Jin is like, no, get away. Like he doesn't want anyone around them. And everyone's kind of running for shelter except Locke. He's still just sitting on the beach, embracing it. He's just like, yeah, rain, so.
Very woo-woo, a little like hippie granola. Not crunchy. In a bad way. Yeah. We love that.
He loves oranges and rain. It's fine. And then again, as someone that has seen the show, I'm like, you need to be collecting this rain to drink.
You're going to be thirsty.
Yeah.
You can't drink the ocean.
Yes, you cannot. No, you cannot. And then once again, all this is disrupted. There's weird movement and noises in the jungle again. The three looking for the cockpit. They finally find the cockpit. They look scared to go inside. It's ominous. It's kind of on a weird tilt. It landed where it's kind of where the pilot would be sitting is up high. It's leaning on a tree kind of or something is kind of what it looks like.
Right.
So they're like, oh, geez, this is going to be rough. Plus, they know once they go in, there's probably going to be dead bodies. It's going to be weird. So they're like, okay, they all give each other a look and they go in. They climb into the cockpit and they're trying to make their way around the dead bodies and they're pulling themselves up. So it's the weirdest rock climbing. It's like morbid rock climbing because they're trying to still be respectful and not like grab feet and stuff. Like it's a little weird. But
Right.
so they're like kind of pulling themselves along what would be like the floor, and they're using the bottom of the seats to like pull up or whatever. And then Jack gets to the cockpit door and he's banging on the door to try to open it. And then jump scare, a dead body flies out the
Oh,
door.
it's such a good jump scare too. Just
Yeah. And I keep in my notes calling the pilots captains, but I do watch a lot of Below Deck. I forgot that on a plane that's called the pilot. But anyway, so the dead body flies out. After they collect themselves, they start looking for the transceiver. And I'm surprised Kate can see anything because her hair's always in her face and it drives me nuts. We'll bring that up many times. It drives me totally crazy.
You
But
gotta look good for the cameras.
and then holy shit, the pilot's awake. The other pilot wakes up but he's still weirdly aware enough to be like, how long is the crash? But like he knows the crash happened. Like he might, but so he's like, how many survivors? How long have we been stranded? And so it's been 6 hours since the plane crashed.
I think it's 16.
Okay,
I think
16.
it's been 16 hours.
Was it 6 hours into the flight then when stuff went weird?
Something.
So
maybe.
The pilot clues them in that 6-ish hours into this flight, the radio went out. They couldn't get in contact with anybody. No one could see them on the radar and stuff. And so the pilots were starting to they turned back to try to land in Fiji because obviously they're flying blind. Like that's not good. So they tried to go land back in Fiji. And by the time they hit the turbulence, they were actually 1,000 miles off course. So anybody looking for them is looking in the wrong place. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So that's not good. But he does know where the transceiver is, so that's nice. So they can find that right away. But now we lost Charlie. Where'd Charlie go? We found the transceiver, but we don't have Charlie. And we found the transceiver, but it's not working because that would be too easy.
Yes.
So, and then while transceiver's not working, where's Charlie? Eerie creaking. It's happening. We find Charlie. He was in the bathroom, but before we can find out why he was in the bathroom, Kate and Jack are like, what are you doing? More weird howling noises. This monster thing is happening. And it's right outside what is happening? It's right outside. Sorry, I just had a pop up. It's right outside the cockpit. You can see like a shadowy figure and like noises, and it's scary. It's right out of like any horror movie you've ever seen. Yeah. They try to see it, and they're trying to kind of look out the window, but like not look out the window. And I am even thinking to myself in this moment, I don't remember this pilot guy being that big part of a show. I don't really remember him. And just as I'm thinking this, he sticks his head out and he gets pulled right out of the cockpit. Blood smears all over the window. Yeah. And then there's just a splattering of blood on the window. And I was like, oh, that's why I didn't really remember him, because that's all we got.
Greg Grunberg had to go be on Heroes soon. And he gave us all the information we needed, right?
Yes, he got us.
Of course.
Yes, we learned.
They're not looking for us.
He played
Here's
his
the transceiver. Bye.
And then with all this jostling, the cockpit falls flat. So there's a big commotion with that. And then Jack he lost the transceiver in the kerfluffle, and Charlie and Kate kind of take off running, which part of me is like, why didn't they just stay in the cockpit till the monster thing leaves? But instead they go run in the rain. I don't know. But anyway, they lose Jack because he's like, well, I'm not leaving without the transceiver. So he's still feeling for that. The other two take off running. And I feel like this happens a lot where they're running in the rain or someone's missing. They look hot or wet. I don't know. Whatever. Charlie gets caught in some roots and like trips. And then we hear more horn noises and stuff. Kate finds a little hiding spot in like some tree trunk root things. And she's very upset. She's yelling for Jack. She's whimpering. She's trembling. Hair's in her face once again. And then she starts counting to 5 very slowly because she's only letting the fear in for 5 seconds because Jack taught her this. And I needed to burp. Okay, so then... And then just as we're having this serene moment, counting to 5, Charlie comes up, kind of scares the crap out of us. But now we don't know where Jack is. Where'd Jack go? And Charlie's like, I don't know. He helped me up and then he disappeared. So then the rain abruptly stops, which happens a lot on this show too, where it's just like rain, not rain.
Right.
Did you have a
I think
thing?
that's just Hawaii. I did. I'll say it at the end, or I'll almost say it at the end of the
So
episode.
the rain abruptly stops, and Kate says, "We have to go back." And it's a weird Titanic vibe because it's still a Jack. Kate is
Right.
saying it, and Kate Winslet played Rose. It's a weird moment for me in my brain. But anyway, so they have to go back and try to find Jack. And Charlie puts up a fight for like a second, but it's like, okay, I guess. So they go back, and then once again, there's eerie screaming in the distance. Thanks to my captions, that's literally what it said: eerie screaming in the distance. And then they're like, what's this in this puddle? There's like a little glinty thing. And they find the pilot's wings from his uniform in the mud puddle. And then they can see in the reflection of the puddle that a silhouette of a body is like in the tree. So they turn around slowly and they're like, oh my gosh. And then Jack appears out of nowhere. Found Jack. He's just there hanging out by this puddle, apparently. And they look up in the tree. Yep, it's the pilot, all bloody and like, I don't know. I don't know if we really needed to see that. I believed he was dead without showing me that, but
Right. He's in a tree, not moving.
and then
And
Charlie,
like way out on a branch.
yes. And then Charlie gets another good one-liner right before the end of the show where he just goes, "How does something like this happen?" But in his accent, can't do that accent. And that is a very good question, Charlie. And then that's the end. And then the lost. Yeah, I'm bad at sound effects. You did better.
Me too. I just have a bassy voice sometimes.
Okay, so and then that's the end. That's episode 1. And how do you feel?
Did you know that Jack was supposed to die halfway through the pilot?
I did not know this. This is new information. Did you not know this
Yeah.
2 days ago?
I did. I didn't bring it up. Jack was supposed to die partway through the pilot episode. They originally had cast Michael Keaton to play Jack.
I mean, it would be a different Jack, that's for sure.
It would be a different Jack. But then as they were like working, they liked the character of Jack so much that they decided he was going to be like a series regular, like the star in Michael Keaton's piece. I'm not doing this.
I'm a movie star. I can't do TV.
I'm a movie star.
I'll
go be a silly guy. Or Batman. Yeah. So
interesting.
yeah.
I kind of like
dick
that.
would have been bigger.
I kind of like about, don't get me wrong, Matthew Fox was on Party of Five. And like you said, Dominic Monaghan had been in Lord of the Rings. Not that people in the show were total unknowns. We know Harold Perrineau,
Yeah.
But I kind of like that it didn't have a huge star like Michael Keaton. Like it really was an
Right.
ensemble cast. Because sometimes I think when a super famous person is in something, it's hard to separate that or like to see them as anything else or
it's a little bit Meryl Streep sometimes. I love Meryl Streep.
Right.
She's so good, but sometimes look at Meryl Streep to this accent.
Yeah. So I kind of liked that it was kind of a cast of unknowns. There wasn't a huge celebrity in the but not really.
I have to look her up now because I need to know what her name was. So Sun-Hwa Kwon is the character. She's played by Yoonjin Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Yoonjin Kim was like a major movie star in Korea.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like a major movie star in Korea. Came over to the States and cool, be on the show where you're gonna be kind of put upon and not speak English for a moment.
Spoiler alert. But yeah, so that's the end. And the fun thing now at the end of each episode, we'll kind of end with what questions we have because Lost leaves us with a lot of questions. And
so many questions.
And Trey has the privilege, sort of living with someone that hasn't seen the show all the way through. So has like good questions, like a first timer questions.
Yeah. So my husband, Nick, he's seen the first season and maybe a couple episodes of the second season, but just doesn't know how anything ends. He knows like what actually happens on Lost as far as whether or not they're alive. But he did ask some good questions, and sometimes it just went he won't tell.
Even are they all dead? I know that like even if you didn't watch the show, I feel like after the finale that was pretty well known. Like you couldn't escape that thing.
Right.
And I still don't know if I believe that they were dead the whole time. I don't know.
Well, because
I feel like it's still very open to interpretation.
Yes. I mean, like, once you get a little bit into the show, you're just like, oh, it's purgatory. This is absolutely purgatory. And then when you die on the island, you go to one of the other places. And I remember there was, like, interviewers were asking the creators of the show, so it's purgatory? They all went, no, no, no. Shit, we got to figure out what we're going to do with this now. But no, you bring up a good point, and I've not rewatched the show. I
Me
attempted
either.
to rewatch a couple like during the pandemic, but I've not done a full rewatch of the show just because I kind of knew it was happening. I've lost some things. There are some beautiful moments that I will never forget,
Right.
like this visual moment that I'm
Mhm.
doing right now that we're not going to talk about until we get there, and that might just be like Tasha and Trey make sounds for 5
I'll
minutes.
just be sobbing, but it's fine. And there's that We Haven't Met Yet that are like my favorites, and
So good.
yeah.
I love
So,
some of them coming out. There's 2 coming up that I cannot stand,
yeah, and there's just
and they're coming up,
always,
like, 3rd season.
and it is one of those shows where I think watching as an older person, I might see things differently than I did the first time, or remember it. I remembered it one way and be like, "Oh, this is a different
Right, well,
perspective now."
because like, we talked about it a little bit already, but Shannon, everybody hated Shannon because she was just like, I'm just a damsel in distress, and I can't do anything. Scream, 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 cry, cry. But then as I've watched these first 2 episodes, I'm like, "Oh, no. She's the most sensible." Yeah. Oh, I don't wanna do a lot of things because the rescue is coming.
Yeah.
I just need to hang out and like zone because the rescue is coming.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna stand here and scream because the rescue is
And I
coming.
think a lot of people think, "Oh, I in an emergency, I'd know what to do, or I would leap to action," or you don't know that until it happens.
Right.
And there's a lot of times too, that fight, flight, or flee, like that's you
Mhm.
never some of those reactions are not you don't choose that, like your body chooses it for you. So,
Right, and it's also, like, situational,
yeah.
right? Because 'Cause I've definitely been in a couple of, like, moments where, like, somebody is in distress. I do the Mr. Rogers thing, right? I look for the helpers. I'm I'm an adult now, so I'm a helper, but if there's somebody that, like, can be a helper, I will stand and support, but get people away.
Yeah.
But there's nobody that's a helper. I have been the helper,
Mhm.
but I've never, knock wood, if you can hear that,
Yeah.
I've never been in like a terrible
Right.
situation where I've had to really figure that out.
Yeah, same. And I listen to a lot of true crime and watch a lot of SVU and that sort of stuff. And a thing that I think is getting better, but still not real great, is like, oh, they say they're the victim, but they didn't react the right way, or they're not crying enough, or they're
Ugh,
crying
there's
too
no
much,
right
or
way to
yeah, there's no right
react.
way to react, and there's no perfect victim. And stop expecting people to act rationally in irrational situations.
Exactly.
So I think that's the thing we can all learn from.
Right. And also, as in a post current, whatever, Me Too era, like looking at like the women on this show too, I think is going to be super.
Interesting.
We've already talked about Shannon, but like Claire's, if I remember correctly, like Claire's entire job on the show is be pregnant
Well, she has the
and then
baby
have the
eventually.
baby.
Yeah.
Right. But then she's be pregnant, be mom. That's her entire job, which is super reductive. Right. And then
I
Jen,
will learn that she does more. I don't remember, but I
I
feel like
don't
she has a little
remember.
bit more of a storyline than that. But yeah, I don't know.
Yes, yes. But then Kate is very much written like a man
Yeah,
sometimes.
but I mean, we've
Again,
all yeah,
haven't watched it since
yeah,
it
and
ended, but
and I mean they all kind of fit into stereotypes. Sawyer's the bad guy or
totally.
bad boy that we love to hate, and Jack's the quote unquote hero. And but I
That we
think
hate to love.
but I do kind of, and even Kate was a love hate for a lot of people because she
Yeah.
did push back a lot and stuff. But I mean, some would say that is a strong female character, and then other people would say that she's not. I don't know. It kind of just depends what
Yeah.
lens you look through. But all right. So, end of the episode, questions from the first episode. I only have 4.
Great.
The first one: what is making the howling noise in the jungle?
Great question.
Is the thing that's making the noise the same thing that killed the pilot?
That's a good question. We'll find out an answer for that.
Why did the plane's radio and all the stuff go wonky? We don't know.
Yeah.
And finally, the most important question: why can't
Yes.
Kate pull her hair back properly? It's hot out. Get that off your face. Anyway, that's just me. What are your questions?
I have so many, and some of them are super serious, and some of them are very much not. Um, like, why is Jack so far away from the plane when he wakes up?
Yes. Why did he get thrown so far?
Why? It's so strange.
That is a valid.
Is Jack an alcoholic? And then sometimes, like with my husband, aren't they all dead? He asked. And I went, murr. And then right after that is, what if they're all dead? What happens when they die on the island? Great question.
Mm-hmm.
A silly one. Why is Ian Somerhalder's face like that? He's a very handsome man, but sometimes his eyebrows are very distracting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why is John Locke so creepy? Why is the number 48 significant? Because I think that's what Jack says for the number of survivors. When the
Oh.
pilot asks,
Oh,
how many
yeah.
survivors are there? And Jack says 48. And I think that 48 is like the final number of the numbers. Remember the numbers?
Yeah. In the
Oh,
in
I
the
just had a memory.
what is that thing called? In the bunker thing? Yeah, where they have to do the numbers.
In the hatch, which we're
The
not going to talk about at the end of
hatch.
the
Why?
season.
How could I forget the word hatch? They only say it 8,000 times.
Right. But there was one point when I had just moved to New York City, so 2000 to fall of 2010, and I was on the Lower East Side or maybe the East Village, and someone was like projecting the numbers onto the side of a building, and I remember taking a picture and sending it to you.
I vaguely do remember that too, and I was like, "What's going on?"
I just had that memory. Where's Charlie when they're in the plane searching for the transponder? That's a great question that everybody asks. What is Charlie doing in the bathroom? What takes the pilot? How? Why? Because we know what takes the pilot. We figure out what the monster is later, but I'm still a little unclear onto what the monster is. I know what the answer is, but I don't know what it is.
Right, like even as someone that has seen the show, you still go, "But what?"
Right. Because there are a handful of questions that were
Never
big
get
moments
answered.
on the
But
show
there are
that
also
never get
right,
answered.
exactly. And I kind of
Never
like
get
that
answered.
because yeah, if you're a
Mhm.
person that wants everything buttoned up in a nice little bow, this is not the show for you. But
Still listen to us talk about it, but don't watch the show.
right. Or watch it, but just know you're gonna be mad.
Yeah.
And is that it? Was that episode 1? Did we do it?
That was episode 1.
And hopefully
High five.
it worked. Yes. Air
Yes.
fives
I believe
all around.
in
Miracles.
us and this. Do you believe in miracles? Sometimes.
Sometimes. All right. So stay tuned for what is episode 2 pilot part 2?
Pilot part 2.
And Trey will mark that on a spreadsheet and he will lead us next time.
I love spreadsheets. See you in 2 weeks.
Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this very first episode of Talkin with Tasha and Trey, the Lostcast. Episode 1, pilot part 1. Yeah, buddy, we did it. We maybe had to do it twice, but we got her done. So I hope you enjoyed that. We will, like I said, be doing some other Lost casts thrown in to the regularly scheduled programming of Talkin with Tasha. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe, comment, share, do all the stuff. You can listen on Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, and at talkinwithtasha.com. Over at talkinwithtasha.com, you can also send me an email. There are links there, talkinwithtashapod@gmail.com. There are also links there to my Cameo and Fiverr if you want a personal message for somebody or if you want me to do some sort of voiceover work, I'm available. And I think there's only one thing left to do. Be safe, make good choices, wash your hands, just try to be a good person, stay hydrated, and peace out, Brussels sprout. Bye.